Actually, was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast when I would start listening to him, and he just said to go out and do what you want to do, and it had always been something I wanted to do. And I always emceed lots of shows and events and music festivals. My brother used to put on a lot of music festivals, like alt country bands, and so I did a lot of emceeing anyway. I'm real comfortable. I was real comfortable on stage anyway, so I just tried to write some jokes, man. Oh, it was great, man. I mean, the first time I ever did it was down at Trapezanos in Port Orange. It was the old Comedy Zone, and we did. The first time I ever did it, I brought like 30 people with me. Like every open mic, or the first time I ever did it, brought like 30 people. But what I didn't know at the time was that alcohol creates hecklers. So all of a sudden, a few of those people that I brought turned into hecklers. And I think the funniest line of the night that the biggest laugh I got that night was like, when I said, "Oh great, I brought my own hecklers." So that was my first experience. It was great. I loved it. I was hooked. Of course, I think my favorite is definitely my favorite is Stanhope for sure. I lean a little bit more towards the darker side of comedy, so Stanhope, Andy Andrist. I like a lot of dudes like that. I love Geraldo was great. Of course, Patrice, Bill Burr. That's definitely my more aggressive type comedy. A little bit on the hard side, aggressive. So yeah, for sure, I definitely enjoy those comedians most. I would say definitely Stanhope, Andrist, Sam Tripoli. I love Sam Tripoli. He's awesome. Tony Hinchcliffe, who writes for Comedy Central for the Roast for Comedy Central, does the Kill Tony show. Any of those Death Squad guys, Brian Redband, Rogan, Bill Burr, of course, would be great. I really like that hard Boston type comedy, where it's really just that brutal comedy in your face type stuff. I really enjoy that a lot. I enjoy the aggressiveness. I would go with Stanhope. I mean, I've always we have the show coming up here in Daytona on Easter weekend. I would definitely go with Stanhope. He's my favorite. I've traveled all over just to see him, and I have been very fortunate enough to hang out with him a couple times, and just a super dude. And I think that level of partying would agree with my senses if I were on the road like that. Man, I'm old school. I'm old school. Just the other night I watched Ferris Bueller and I just laughed my ass off the whole time. I love those old 80s cheesy comedies. I love that shit. I love one of my favorite comedies right now on TV right now is The Goldbergs with Jeff Garlin, and it's set in an 80s Philadelphia suburb, and with the family, they're very much like my family grew up and everything, and they're with Jeff Garlin's brilliant writer, because he wrote a couple of other shows, and he's a brilliant guy. So that would be my favorite, would be The Goldbergs for sure. Plus Brian Callen's on it. I love Brian Callen, so he's awesome. I guess I'm old school. I like SNL. I like SNL, but I like some of the. There's some of the sketches are brilliant at SNL over the years. Even the newer ones, the Justin Timberlake sketches are always the welcome. Bring It On Down to Omelet Town, or when he did the Single Ladies with Beyonce, or we're the dancers. Absolute brilliance. And those guys, they have their up and down times, but I mean, if you're going to be on TV that long, you're going to have your up and down times. I still think SNL is the standard, no question. Well, I would love to get into some acting if that was possible. It's always been a dream, and of course, that's the end result. Actually, for me, I think I would really enjoy hosting. I enjoy hosting. I love hosting shows. Like, people like being features and people like being headliners. To me, to get on stage with a cold audience, that they don't know what's going to happen. I don't know them. They don't know me. We're just going for it. To me, that's the most exciting part of comedy, is being the first person to hit the stage. Let's break the ice. Let's see set the tone for the other comedians, have a great time, get the crowd into it and have a great time. I think that's what hosting's all about. So I think for me, hosting some type of show or sitcom would be most fun for me. I sit back and I see the level of fame that some of these comedians have, doing the TV work and the comedy work, and the game show work and stuff like that. Look back, they all started as stand-up comics. I mean, look at Jon Stewart, and Steve Harvey on Family Feud is fucking brilliant. He's hilarious. He's just having a good time. I think that would be my dream job, just be having a good time. Back in the day, my dream job was to do MTV Sports. Remember MTV Sports back in the day with Dan Cortez? That would have been my, that was always my dream job. Like, that would be cool. Like Bert Kreischer, when he does Hurt Bert or when he does Trip Flip or any of those shows, that's what I would like to do, something like that. Travel and do shows. I just want them to have a good time, man. I want them to be able to forget their days. The greatest thing for any comedian, and it's happened to all of us, at a certain point, is when somebody comes up to you and says, man, I was having the worst day today. My dog died, or I found out something bad, I have something wrong with me or something, and to be able to make those people laugh is what it's all about. There's no question, all the bullshit is suddenly worth it when you have that moment, to me. I couldn't tell you, man. I really couldn't tell you. I'm a person who, I respect the process, and I know that there are a lot of dudes out there that are putting in a lot of hard time to be comedians. I'm fortunate that I have another job and that I can kind of not be so on the comedy game as much as I probably should be. And I'm also one that will let the guys that are really working hard take those spots and do the things they need to do to get to the next level. So for me, a few more trips to Las Vegas, a few more trips to LA, and just see what happens. Just put it out there and see what happens. I really feel comfortable where I'm at right now. I've been in front of a few different kinds of audiences recently, and I feel I've done well with all of them. And I think that I'm becoming a more well-rounded comedian. I'm getting into my 5th year in. I feel confident. I feel good. I know I can change up my material. I know I can, try to satisfy all crowds. And that comes from being a good MC, where you have to kind of evaluate what's going on the fly. So, 5 years, I just hope to be doing the same thing. I just hope to be having a great time, making people laugh. That's all I want to do. Hey, I'm Peter O'Keefe, Daytona Beach, Florida. Please check out my interview with Sarah Ney on cuties.com. It's going to be great. Check it out.